Wow, what an incredible game one. Man, that was crazy. Luke, what is one word that comes to mind after seeing game one?
Surprising.
Verlander was shoving early on, and Kyle Tucker was doing some serious damage at the plate. Astros jumped out to a 5-0 lead after 3, and it was looking like they were going to run away with it, and I think everyone was thinking the same thing. But man, were we wrong. The Phillies come storming back, putting 3 on the board in the 4th and 2 more on the board in the 5th. Usually if you don't jump on Verlander early on in the game, he just gets stronger the deeper you get into the game, and it gets tougher and tougher to hit him once you get to the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, but that was not the case here in game one. And who in their right mind would have thought that the Phillies' bullpen, who I would argue is who really won the game for the Phillies in the end. Realmuto had the huge hits and gave them the lead in the 10th. But the Phillies bullpen is what kept Houston's offense at bay and gave the Phillies a chance to get back in the game and ultimately win it. If you need any example of how lacking the Phillies are in their pen, Ranger Suarez, their Game 3 starting pitcher, is who was their third option out of the pen. Luke, what are your initial thoughts of Game 1?
I think we all knew that the Phillies were going to come in swinging it, but to be able to do damage on Verlander into the middle innings of the game, that was really impressive, especially after being down early. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be a throwaway game, but not only did they come back, the bullpen held them. So the bullpen being able to shut the door on the Houston offense, and not to mention Castellanos playing, what looked like gold glove defense out there. So, the Phillies are really firing on all cylinders.
We're going to get into some of the highlights here. So Verlander started the game. His World Series record is 0-6, 5.68 ERA. Definitely looked like he was going to make an improvement there and get his first win, but definitely didn't turn out to be the case.
He looked like he was commanding his fastball up in the zone like he always does, as well as his off-speed tunneling off the fastball.
Altuve, after that at bat, I thought he was really going to... That was kind of a red flag for me for the rest of the series. That slider started off the zone and then kept going out, and he's still swinging like he doesn't know, like he's not seeing the ball. Kyle Tucker had himself a night, huh? There he goes with the solo shot there and the bat flip. Aaron Nola had a bit of bad luck here in the second inning. Kind of some little dinky hits off the handle of the bat.
That's what some of us would call an MLB The Show type inning. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know.
That was a perfect hit and run right there.
Yeah.
Executed perfectly.
Obviously, that wasn't called, but to be able to see the second baseman breaking and with 2 strikes, be able to put the ball in play.
Yep, exactly.
Where he left, it's beautiful.
Yep. So Houston's 29-0. They were 29-0 when leading by 5+ runs. Was it the postseason? In the postseason?
Well, let's not forget they have the worst World Series pitcher of all time.
Now after this last outing, 6.07 ERA, which is the worst minimum 30 innings pitched.
Yep.
And Bryce was upset there. I think Reese should have scored on that. That was a great piece of hitting right there. That was not a bad pitch. That was actually a really good pitch. And Castellanos just... One thing I think this game definitely made certain is that the Phillies bats are still red hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's not forget, the previous 2 years, Nick Castellanos was one of the best hitters in the league. He's had a down year this year, but he's still one of the best hitters in the league, leading the league in sweet spot percentage and hard hit ball percentage the last 2 seasons.
Curveball that was left up there, and Realmuto had himself a night too. It was a great play by Baum right there.
I think it's safe to say maybe Alec Boehm doesn't hate this fucking place.
Were you surprised that they brought in Ryan Presley with the game still tied here?
I don't. He's normally a 8th or 9th inning guy. I think they were expecting to go win in the bottom of the 9th. Again, I don't think Houston is worried about the Phillies bullpen. So, I think the pressure's gonna be on the Phillies bullpen to prove that they're good enough to hang on in the series.
Do you think a hit like this for Altuve is still enough? I don't think so either.
Mentally, it's nice because when you look at the scorecard, it's not over 5. But when you wake up the next day, you still are like, dude, I haven't caught a barrel in weeks.
Talk about maybe the most perfect throw I've ever seen in my life.
And that right there is why you always slide head first.
Yeah, I actually think they got him. If you really go frame by frame, but it was so close that they weren't going to change the call on the field. But Castellanos, Houston was a fraction of an inch away from winning this game right there in the ninth. And Castellanos,
and right before this play, Kyle Schwarber was yelling over at Castellanos to scoot in case if Bay City had a chance to throw him out at home. And so that ended up helping him out right there.
Realmuto just goes with that fastball right there, 98 up and out.
Yeah, and that's a mistake right there. You don't want to challenge him on a full count. I know it's the leadoff batter, but it's the 3-hole. JT's been hot, belt high out of the plate. When you're a hitter and you're down 2 strikes, you're looking away. Most of the time, you're looking hard. So staying within himself and beautiful hitting right there.
Talk about how hard these 3 outs were to get. Holy cow, they sat down Jordan fairly easily, but holy cow, did they have to work for the next 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean, Houston had the hitters that they wanted at the plate.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't get it done. Credit to Dave Robertson.
But holy cow, this at-bat infuriated me.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Litmus Diaz was doing.
The second pitch the second pitch that almost hit him, it was almost like he was like, oh, I should have got hit by that. So then this next one, he's like, oh, I'm going to lean into it. Which there's even a potential argument that could have been a strike.
Yeah.
But they ended up giving him 3-0. And then they didn't show it there, but 3-0, the 3-0 pitch was a breaking ball down and out of the zone. And this dude is 1 for 14 in the postseason and is a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
There should be no fucking shot that you have a green light on 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, right there, that shows that Diaz was thinking that they were just going to give me over fastball. I think Diaz knew that they wanted to throw to him, so I think he was looking to ambush him. But that's just a classic case of deciding you're going to swing before you even see the pitch.
Literally, yeah. I think
way out front on his front side, just total breakdown.
Yeah. I think this is the one game like this that the Phillies win, meaning I don't think that if whoever starts for them in whatever game goes out and only gives them 4 innings, I don't think that their bullpen can consistently give the performance that they did in Game 1. I think that whoever takes the mound needs to give the Phillies at least 6 innings to give them a shot so that they don't have to burn through their already super limited bullpen. Would you agree, Luke?
I mean, look, what you do once, you can do twice, right? So the Phillies potentially could do this, but it's not very economical. I don't see a sure path to victory by relying so heavily on their bullpen. The Astros have too many hitters in the middle of their lineup, and if they get more production from Altuve at the top, it's going to spell bad news.
One thing is for certain after Game 1, that the Phillies' bats are still crazy hot, and I think they're in a golden position to take Game 2 with Zach Wheeler taking them out, and their confidence is going to be through the roof after having come down from 5 runs and pulling out a victory in Game 1. Luke, what are your final thoughts?
Look, we can sit here and talk about momentum all we want, right? I don't see a way where Houston loses the first 2 at home. I don't see it. I mean, there's too many veterans. There's too many star-studded power hitters in the middle of their lineup. Kyle Tucker playing great. Yordan Alvarez playing great. Bregman playing great. I don't see Houston losing Game 2. Valdez has been lights out all postseason. I see it being a low-scoring affair. I see him shutting down the Phillies offense. So something around 2-0, 3-1 Houston.
Really, I actually think that the Phillies are going to come out on top because of their confidence and how they won Game 1. I think Wheeler's going to come out and absolutely shove. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws 7 shutout innings. I just feel like the Phillies are going to come out fired up after having won Game 1 in the style that they did. I think that they're going to eliminate the Houston's offense, Zach Wheeler, and I think he's going to go deep in this game. I'm predicting a 4-1 victory for the Phillies in Game 2. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back after Game 2 for the post-game analysis.